So from the figure 3, you see that the spring is stretched to x plus L units beyond its natural length. Hence, the magnitude of F2 is k times x plus L, where k is a spring constant. Since the spring pulls upward, we have in the upward direction we have taken minus F equal to minus k times x plus L. When x is 0, that is, when the system is at equilibrium, the force of gravity and the force due to the spring balance each other. Therefore, mg equal to kl. Okay, and F2 be expressed as F2 equal to minus kx minus mg. What is KL? KL is nothing but our mg here. K into x, K into L. K into L is mg. So when in equilibrium position, the force due to the spring balance, they both balance with each other, right? So F2 equal to, finally we got F2 equal to minus kx minus mg. Now next is a damping force. What is a damping force? Damping force, there is a damping or frictional force F3 acting on the mass. For example, this force may be air resistance or friction due to the shock absorbed. So beyond this force, we have seen the gravitational force and the upward direction, that is in the restoring force. So one more force is known as a damping force, that is nothing but the friction. The air also acts as a friction for the spring balance. That is known as air resistance or friction due to the shock absorber. It's moving up and down, the shock absorber. In either case, we assume that the damping force is proportional to magnitude of velocity of the mass, right? But it is in the opposite direction. Friction, no, it is in the opposite direction. That's why we have written minus here. F3, that is the damping force, equal to minus C, and this is proportional to velocity, that is dx by dt. C is greater than 0, where C is called the damping constant given in its mass per time. Right now, the external force, one more force is the external force. As I discussed before, there will be 5 forces acting. Any external forces acting on the mass, for example, magnitude force, you can call it as magnetic force, or forces exerted on a car by bump in the pavement. Okay, not only the car is moving, even because of the bump also some force is there. So will be denoted by F4 equal to Ft. Let us assume that these forces depend only on time and not on the location of mass or its velocity, because already we have taken the mass and velocity. So this force is independent of mass and velocity, right? The new force we are introducing, right? Now we go to the total force. There are 5 forces, no? F acting on the mass m. The sum of, sorry, not 5, the sum of 4 forces, that is F1, F2, F3 and F4. Okay, it's 4 forces acting on the spring. That is, F is a function of t, x and dx by dt. It's a function of t and displacement and also the velocity, that is dx by dt force. That is, the first force is a gravitational force, mg, and next is the next force what we have seen was force due to the elongation, right? That is the second force. Second force is due to the elongation of the spring, that is restoring force, right? Second, we have seen restoring force, and then the damping force and the external force. There are 4 forces. So the force is due to the elongation. This is kx minus kx minus mg. This is damping force minus c into dx by dt, and the external force f of t, right? So we will be getting here mg gets cancelled here. And all the leaving ft, you can take others to the right hand side, sorry, left hand side. M into d square x by dt square plus c into dx by dt plus kx equal to f of t, that is equation 1. When c is 0, we say that the system is undamped. Therefore, it is, otherwise it is damped. If c is not 0, it is damped. That is, damping is nothing but the frictional force. Right? When there is no friction, absolutely 0 friction, it is undamped. When f of t equal to 0, we call the motion to be free. Means it keeps on moving. There is no external force acting. No, it keeps on moving. Otherwise, the motion is forced. Some force is acting on the spring, right? Undamped free vibrations. We are going to see only undamped free vibrations for our application of the differential equation. Let us begin with a simple system in which C is 0 and is free. F of t equal to 0. In this, the equation becomes when C is 0 and F of t is 0. This is the equation, no? Here, equation 1. When C is 0, that completely becomes 0, right? We are left with m d square x by dt square kx, and F of t also we have taken as 0, no external force, right? So the equation becomes m d square x by dt square plus kx equal to 0. On solving this equation 2, we get it's normal differential equation, right? You get the CF, and there is no particular integral because it is equal to 0. So this is you are getting as minus kx, no, d square, and you will get alpha plus or minus I beta form. You will get this is alpha is 0 and beta is k by m, right? If you solve it, you will get x equal to a cos omega 0 t plus b sine omega 0 into t, where omega square is k by m. Okay, what is omega square? It is k by m. Hence, here the omega naught square, right? Everywhere omega naught. Omega naught is called the angular frequency for a particular problem. The constant a and b determine, that is using the initial condition, you can find a and b. If you take a as r cos delta, b has r sine delta, then a cos of a minus b is what? Cos a cos b plus sine a sine b. You are going to use this formula, r cos of omega naught t minus delta, that is cos a minus b, cos a cos b plus sine a sine b. Using this formula, r cos omega naught t is cos delta plus r sine omega naught t into sine delta. This is what we are going to use. What is our r? Okay, and cos omega naught t. Okay, what is a? A we have taken as r cos delta. So r cos delta can be taken as a, r sine delta is b. So this equation reduces to a cos omega naught into t plus b sine omega naught into t. This we can name it as equation 4, where r and delta are constants. Now our x becomes, what is our x? X, right? X is what? A cos omega naught into t plus b sine omega naught into t. That is reduced to very simple. That is what we have seen. Okay, that is nothing but r cos of omega naught t minus delta. So it is reduces to r cos omega naught t minus delta. This is equation 4. Using equation 4 we got this. So what is r? R is nothing but square root of a square plus b square, and tan delta is a by b. Using this. Okay, using this. Cos square delta plus sine square delta is 1, no? We'll get a square. Okay, r value will be getting here. And sine delta by cos delta will be, okay, tan delta. That is a by b. I think b by a, right? There's some mistake. I think it should be b by a, right? Sine by cos, no? Sine is b by a. Sorry, it should be b by a. Because of the periodic character of the cosine function is periodic, right? So the equation 5 represents a periodic motion, up and down motion. This is known as a simple harmonic motion of period t, where t is nothing but, you know, the period of the simple harmonic motion. Period of the simple harmonic motion is 2 pi by omega naught. What is our omega naught? K by m. So you'll get square root of k by m. So 2 pi into m by k, the whole to the power of half. We have written omega naught equal to, here we have written, yes, here omega naught square is k by m, right? Omega naught square is k by m. That is what we are using. So omega naught, using that. So modulus of cos omega naught t minus delta is 1 always. It is 1, right? Hence x always lies between plus or minus 1. Okay, because we are having here, no? Here. This is always, no, it can't be more than 1. Maximum is 1. So it is lesser than or equal to 1. Therefore, what you are getting is x is plus or minus r. Okay, the maximum displacement occurs when omega naught t minus delta is 0, plus or minus pi, plus or minus 2 pi, and so on. The constant r and delta are the amplitude. R is amplitude, delta is the phase angle of the motion, respectively. In this case, the periodic motion does not tend to 0 as the time increases. A stretch of motion represent in this equation phi. Okay, I can just draw the figure like this, right? Can you see the graph? So in this graph, this is x displacement and this is t, okay, time. So using that xt graph, t is the time, here x-axis is t, y-axis is displacement x. You can see the cos, this is cos curve, right? From this r to this r, this is one period. Delta plus pi, here it is delta plus 2 pi. So minus delta by omega where it touches x-axis. Okay, you can see the periodic motion. Figure 4 shows the periodic motion. Now we'll go to the question. Solve and interpret the initial value problem d square x by dt square plus 16x equal to 0 with the initial condition x of 0 is 10. One more initial condition is given. Here is dx by dt at t equal to 0 equal to 0. Now we have to solve this, and moreover you have to interpret using that periodic simple harmonic motion. The problem is equivalent to pulling a mass on a spring, means it is going downward direction 10 units below the equilibrium position. Why it is x of 0? Here it is given. X of 0 is 10, equilibrium position, right? When it is 0, it is 10. So the position is considered 10 units below the equilibrium position. That's why we have to get this. The problem is equivalent to pulling a mass on a spring down 10 units below the equilibrium position. That is x of 0 is 10 we are having now. So it is 10 units below the equilibrium position. This position is considered as initial position, that is t equal to 0. At this position, the system is at rest and then mass is released, okay, to cause motion in the spring. Now you release the mass, it starts up and down motion. Now the solution of this differential equation is what? Normal differential equation, d square plus 16, right? D equal to square root of minus 16, that is plus or minus 4i, alpha is 4, alpha is 0, beta is 4. So using that e power alpha x into c1 cos beta x plus c2 sin beta x, beta is 4, right? You solve the differential equation, CF you will get. So we got x of t is something. Auxiliary equation, this is how I'm just showing you how I got d square plus 16. D square is minus 16, d is plus or minus 4a, alpha is 0, beta equal to 4. That is how we got the solution. Now, in order to determine C1 and C2, we have to use the initial condition, that is x of 0 is 10. When means at time 0, it is stretched to 10. Displacement is 10. At time is 0. That is x of 10, that is when time is 0, x value is 10. C1 cos, when time is 0, no? So cos 0 and sine of this is also time is 0. So time is taken as 0, x is taken as 10. You get the value of C1 and another condition is given to find C2, that is dx by dt. You differentiate it, normal differentiation. So you'll get answer as minus 4 differentiation of cos t is minus 4 sin t, differentiation of sin t is 4 cos t. So this you will get dx by dt, and you can see the figure, that is the spring. Okay, this is a spring and it has gone down. Okay, sorry, x equal to 0 is the equilibrium position. Can you see the x equal to 0? This is the equilibrium position, and when it goes down 10 down, okay, below the equilibrium position, when it goes up, that is minus 10, upward direction is minus 10, it's going upward direction of the equilibrium position, then it comes back to the equilibrium position, then 10 it goes down. then it comes back to the equilibrium position, minus 10 it goes upwards. So up down motion of the spring. That is how we got it this as 10. We have seen in the previous class that dx by dt equal to minus 4 c1 sin 4t plus 4 c2 into cos 4t. We have to use the initial value condition in order to find c1 and c2. Okay, and applying the second initial value condition, dx by dt at t equal to 0 is 0, right? So you get the value of, you substitute to t equal to 0, dx by dt, differentiate it and then substitute dx by dt equal to 0, we get the value of c2, that is also equal to 0. So using the value of c1 and c2, the equation 2, what is our equation 2? This is our equation 2, x of t equal to c1 sin cos 4t plus c2 cos 4 sin 4t, right? What is x of t? c1 cos 4t plus c2 sin 4t. So using the value of c1 and c2 here, what we get is c2 is 0, right? c1 is 10. So x of t equal to 10 cos 4t. The solution clearly shows that once the system is set in motion, it stays in motion with the mass bouncing back and forth 10 units on either side of the equilibrium position, that is x equal to 0. The period of motion is 2 pi by 4, that is pi by 2. What is the t equal to? We know 2 pi by omega naught. What is the formula? X equal to r cos omega naught t minus delta. Comparing with the given equation, for this particular equation, x equal to 10 cos 4t. Delta is 0. Therefore, omega naught t equal to 4t. Omega naught is 4. So, what is our period? T equal to 2 pi by omega naught. 2 pi by omega naught is what? 4. So, 2 pi by 4. That is, we got answer as pi by 2. Right? So, 2 pi by 4, that is pi by 2. Right? So, you can do this sum. A mass weighing 19.6 kilogram stretches a spring half m at time t equal to 0. The mass is released from a point 2 by 3 m below the equilibrium position with an upward velocity 4 by 3 meter per second. Determine the function x of t that describes the subsequent free motion. Okay. And Cauchy's linear equation, this is the assignment, okay, assignment 3, okay, this assignment 3, this is assignment 3, right, this is given in your scanned copy, you can do assignment 3, right, 3, 4, 5 are Legendre's method, and 1 and 2 is the Cauchy's method.